Welcome back. Before I kick off too far, we've got a Melbourne Cup suite there if anybody's interested after. $5 a ticket. Random ticket. When it's settled there, exactly what you're going to win. Birthdays. Andrew Bailey turned 58 Thursday. He's here in Lincoln at the moment, isn't he? No anniversaries. We've got some positive recognition over the weekend. So we've got Paul Peary Z-Code. So Reece Sam, which...
Will's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, is it?
How old, Will?
16, Will?
31.
Happy birthday, mate. What day is that? Tomorrow. Sweet.
Yeah, that one will get tight.
And the other one's good.
I'm just going to bring a Carlton. You know that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Birthday cake or something, I don't know.
Carlton.
Yeah, so we had Paul Peary, Z-Code, so Reece and Sam are heading up to Gum, so they won't hear, but Seth, Dano, Rancy, and Leanne. Really appreciate the efforts support Edmonton Distribution Services have provided across the state, but in particular in Port Pirie, where there was a large number of Z-Code defects identified this year. It's great feedback from Rob. Thanks to everyone personally for this providing support. So that was from Paul Salter. Another one from Robert Phelan. Edmonton guys have been great asset during our Z-Code season, helped with nearly 100 jobs. Seth, Dan, Reece, Sam, come back anytime. Good blokes. So I agree with everything other than the good blokes, I don't know about that. Now, well done guys. That's good to fly in flag. Storm response, another one from Doug Schmidt. So high great feedback from Saturday staff about the support provided by Eneman following Thursday's severe storm events. He was very concerned late Thursday evening with nearly 30,000 customers across Metro and Riverland without power. However, with Eneman's support, all but a handful of customers were fully restored. I think nearly everyone helped out in that, some sort of form, so well done. I didn't really go through the update of next week's work, but it's just a lot of projects, a lot of stippers. We're trying to keep the high volumes of work sort of in check a bit better this year. I don't know if anybody's got any feedback on that. Come and see me if you're fatigued or any sort of issues. And I've got work on every single Sunday. But if you're feeling fatigued, speak up. Won't let it get like it was last year. Nick, the switching summary toolbox.
Yep, good.
Yeah, so we've got the switching discussion summary. So we've had the recent switching alert outcomes for 527. Highlighted the importance that HV cable in a switching cubicle or TC, even the open points or adjacent feeders are required to be non-auto. And that is in relation to the switching alert outcomes for 527. Do you want to read through that one or?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So the event on 21st of September 2021, approximately 2:19 p.m, circuit breaker CB1319 kilburn sub opened under a fault. The field switch coordinator contacted the NOC and the abnormal state of the feeder was discussed, a fault finding and restoration plan was then developed. CB1319, not equipped with reclosing functionality, was not required to be placed to non-auto for restoration switching. While sectionalising the feeder, the HVC instructed the crew to operate a de-energised ground level switching cubicle on Merlin bearing RM6. The HVC later identified that the switching cubicle had a live tie point to an adjacent feeder, and the feeder circuit breaker had not been placed to non-auto for ground level switching. The HVC realising the error and requested the crew to place the CB to non-auto before proceeding with the further switching at the cubicle. So the contributing factors were the feeder did not have reclosing functionality, so the circuit breaker was not required to be placed in non-auto. The abnormal status of the feeder was not easily identifiable due to its de-energised state, and the crew members on site were unaware that the live cables to the switching cubicle were required to be in non-auto for ground level switching. So it's just, again, it goes into the lessons learned. So just make careful assessment of the switching equipment on the model before operating, as it has the potential to put the switching operator and the network equipment at risk. And crews must understand the clause 9.2.2.1 from the switching manual and must be aware of the consequences for each inquiry they make. If anyone wants that little clause, I can go through the switching operator's handbook and send that through as well. And again, we'll go into just a reminder that there is a variety also, now that we've gone with all this stiffer stuff as well, that there is always different indicators to select open, close, or on and off. So there's open, close, on, off, red, green, IMO. If you're not sure, just ask, chase it up, and get back to it. And the Formica indoor kit is not to be used for phasing on low rate elbows due to the design of the Formica probes not being long enough to make contact with the inside of the elbow termination. Till a suitable part is manufactured, the K2 tester with the low rate elbow bushing adapter is to be used. I haven't had much experience at all with that indoor kit. Has anyone else had?
Yeah, we use Formica's to test low rates and it works.
Yeah.
You know, from like a station transfer inside a substation to feeder inside port, it works. So,
And we just got to reinforce here that, yeah, the appropriate PPE must be worn while performing switching. Yeah, 278 days so far, yeah.
279, only got it.
I don't have any other.
I've got a couple other outcome alerts. So these ones, like the ones Seb read, is what, so you should all be familiar with the incident, because it would have come out as a near miss or an incident, and then these alerts are after the investigations happen. So this one was ours, as our near miss when we had the brass end cap of the bayonet fuse was missing. So when you remember when we went to test, we got incorrect voltages on the low voltage, and so then we obviously de-energised and pulled the fuses out, and there was a brass cap missing. Tranny Workshop have since opened up the tranny. It wasn't in there, so we can only assume that it wasn't installed. So the person that installed the fuses was working independently from the switching crew. It was done during construction. The lessons learned, we've been through it all here with the fuse holders, but double check them prior to inserting. If someone's put them in during construction and it says check, you can't take their word for it that they're installed. It's a switching item, you've got to verify and check it. And if there's any spare parts left over when you're constructing something, that's probably a good indication that it's not all put together properly. And standards are investigating if Wilson are going to have all their fuses pre-installed. You still need to open it up to check it anyway. I don't think that's going to happen.
We did have one on Josh's job. You out there doing field audit, like an inspection on our website, and we had, they were already pre-installed, we just double checked them. Yeah. So, well, I don't know whether that was just a type of that training, but they were installed already.
Just
I think it was, no, it was brand new. So,
Just looking at email trails, I don't think it's going to happen because there's too many variants. We won't be able to rely on it some way. The other outcome alert was from one in September, and this is about a transposed cables. So they actually lost some supply. The cables were transposed when they were doing some planned switching. So the lessons learnt, and I'm not going to go through the detail because it's similar to what there is, and there's plenty more transposed cables out there still. Highlights the importance of confirming, testing prior when you're constructing. So we know there's stuff out there now, and so we'll test and we'll drop supply again at some stage, no doubt, the switching crew will. But when you're constructing, make sure that your testing's done right so we don't introduce any more of these into the system. The primary protection worked as intended, so it blew some high voltage fuses. There's no risk to personnel. That's all for that one. Then there's just some hazards and incidents from here. And so just some outcomes from that. One was about, so Matt, you reported this one. Switching device, put in the map, took us to the wrong device, about 4 poles away. So they checked the plate on the pole, realised it was the wrong device, So post check the number on the device or the corresponding devices. So the dorky thing about, you know, point, call the number, look at your sheet. So well done, mate. And Benny Kim had a gas bottle leaking in the cupboard over the weekend. So it's now the second bottle that's been slowly leaking through the valve. So because it's come through this system, we can have a look at those bottles to make sure that's not happening. And Bruce was driving out and his hand wash unit that was attached to the underside of the ute fell off onto the road. Not good. And it doesn't look like, when we've had a look at it, doesn't look like it was attached properly by the dealer to the new ute. So, walk around, especially a new vehicle, you know, every few days have a look, just see something's not half hanging off. That obviously would have been half hanging off for perhaps a little while. That's all I had, Justin.
Thanks, Cox. We've got some general depot stuff. So the fire danger season is coming up. A whole lot of couple gear. If anybody wants a copy, I'll give it to you. So Adelaide Metro, 1st of December to the 30th of April. Mid North, we seem to head up there a bit, is 15th of November, so it's not far off. 1st of November for York and West Coast. So it is coming up pretty soon. If you are in a different area, just maybe keep that in mind and just question it. Especially mid North, Adelaide Metro is 1st of December. I can provide this to truck leaders if you guys want it. We've got some questions here, so we've had a few issues lately. So I'm going to ask these questions and see how you guys go. So when is the conductor asset dead / de-energized? You don't have this one, Nick? You want me to do this?
That's right.
Just some switching questions? No, sweet. So when is the conductor asset dead and de-energized? So that's correct, yeah. So once a conductor is proven dead, de-energized by an approved testing device and earth is installed. So we've had some issues where guys were proving dead without their full PPE. So it's not dead unless it's tested properly. It's still part of switching. Full PPE is required. Tested with an approved testing device and earth installed. So what is the minimum PPE required to prove HV and LV conductor dead, de-energized? So it's, yeah, overalls, tested in date, LV gloves, hard hat and safety glasses. So don't assume that it's de-energized. If you're proving dead, overalls in date, overalls tested and in date. I don't know, you don't test overalls. But
There's a comma missing there.
yeah, I've said that a couple of times. So tested and in date, live low voltage gloves, hard hat, safety glasses, standard switching PPE. It is important. So what is the minimum PPE required for the operator and checker to prove conductor dead? So same stuff. So if we're ordering and the guy on the ground isn't dressed, you'll be called up.
So why does the checker have to dress like that when he's on the ground?
That's the question. But we'll pop with ladders anyway. That was probably when I was brought in, but it's just carried on in some buckets.
Yep. You'd be pretty pissed off if something went wrong and you're switching and your mate has to go and get his overalls on. I would be.
So obviously we're asking these questions for a reason. So just wear your correct PPE. No. If you're a checker on the ground in the bucket, I don't believe you need to wear gloves, is that correct? On the ladder you do?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's kind of discussed that if you're going to at some point possibly become within the exclusion zone of low voltage, etc., you have to be dressed accordingly. Like again, like you guys were saying on the ladder.
Yep.
But Sean was saying again, but yeah, you shouldn't have to be wearing your low voltage gloves.
No.
Ready to go, walk rescue on the ground.
Exactly, yeah. If you're switching, just wear your full kit, overalls, hard hat. But in common sense, if you got to pull something out of the bucket, maybe having gloves on, not low voltage, just standard riggers, whatever you think you're going to need. I know down at the school they make you wear standard gloves to do the rescues. So I've got some printout here, so Cobs for signing off loan users. Those are where the increases, we're gonna get call outs, and how to sign off loan queues on the new IMS system. So I'll truck leaders 4As, come and grab one. I've got 5, I think. I think
Yeah,
Cobs
I've
got
got
a few. So grab their leaders with your trucks.
It's important to do so that, the business can identify like areas where the fuse, blows repeatedly, so they can do something about it. So they can not just go there every couple of weeks and change the fuse, so they can actually, make the tranny area small, increase the tranny size, I don't know.
Would it be worth it, like, considering we're assisting a lot more with a lot of metro supply rest work and inclusive of that, would it be worth, we've run some depots that have had fuse breakdown kits, and it's just got a list of all the low voltage types of fuses in there, and then a bit of a cheat sheet on, the fuse application.
Yeah.
Would it be worth setting up a couple of those, so when, say, a metro crew from here gets called in, they don't have to try and restock all their truck all the time, they can kind of rely on the fact that there's gonna be a breakdown fuse kit there available, and they can grab that.
So do you want a physical kit, or you just want a printout information?
Physical kit.
Physical kit.
Yeah, just something that we can keep a tab on it, maybe 2 or 3, just for, say, metro crews that are assisting over Christmas break and stuff.
Yeah.
So they don't have to, normally we've got stuff on the truck, but would it help, you reckon, if we?
Sounds like a perfect switching mentor task. Next time the answer is you in the office, we'll put something together. Just get on the agreement and let them know what you need. They'll have it ordered prior, ready for you.
Yep.
We can work something.
I'll just do all that, so.
We can sort something. That'd be a good idea. Cool. Thanks, Seb. You guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Just with the hot weather coming in, if you need any squincher, come and see me, and the ice freezer gets, you can just let me know, sometimes, it's just one of those things I probably miss in the morning, so just so we can make sure it's all nice and filled up for you boys.
Tricky drink bottles as well. Make sure they're all still in good condition. If we need to replace them, if they're cracked, we've got a couple that have been cracked. If they're green, again.
Yeah, because everyone comes in at once instead of slowly trickling in, so I buy 5 at once instead of 1 at a time.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh,
Do you
sorry,
want to
Jim, I
talk
forgot
about,
Jim's safety alert. Last one, forklift.
So last month at the Middle Park warehouse, they were unloading a 1.5 MVA Mark 7 transformer. When the forklift operator went to lower the transformer tilted and hit King's truck in the rim, and also damaged the bottom of the pad. Learning from it was just make sure we all know our safe working load with the vehicles. I don't think we'd be lifting 1.5 MVA trains with our forklift. No impact. Yep. So no one was injured, and as I said, damage just to the truck and the bottom of the transformer. Is that it?
Thanks, Jim.
Just quickly, social club fridge tabs. Did everyone see if I can pay this offset?
Corey will start breaking legs.
Just can't reach our arms.
No, we've got some events coming up, so we can pay them up. That'd be really good.
Don't forget about the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
If you want $5, and if anyone wants to know how to pick the worst horse out of there, come see me.
So if you don't have $5 and you transfer to the social club, add it to your fridge tab, just let me or Corey know, because Corey will have to put cash in on it to pay him out a couple of pounds. But get around it, it's always good fun. Cheers. You have anything else?
No?
No? All good. Cheers guys, have a good day. Stay safe.